What is up, everybody? How is it going? Austin prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy freaking Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Winning Wednesday. Let's go. It's Winning Wednesday. Today, going to be a quick live. But I wanted to talk about today, if you guys didn't know, it's my kid's birthday. And he turns 4 today. And so I thought, what better way to, celebrate that and kind of like in the spirit of that, talk about, what I want to talk about today. And that's, going to be about 4 lessons that I've learned about life and about my fitness journey in relation to that when it comes to, these things and from that I've learned from my kid, from observing him, from, watching what he does, and just some things that, maybe these are things that I already kind of knew, but man, he sure as hell helps remind me of those things on a very regular basis. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So as you're tuning in, let me know how your day is going. Say hello in the chat, drop some likes on the video, helps other people see it. And yeah, we're going to get this thing kicked off here in just a minute. And after you've watched this right now, go watch my leader Kira. Go watch her live in the free Facebook group, in the public group. She's doing a live right now, actually, or will be very shortly on hydration today. So that's cool. So if you're like, I don't like this topic, Austin, go watch that one instead, or watch it after you watch this one, or vice versa. Either way, I'm not picky. I don't care. But we're going to talk about that here in just a second. I'm going to get this thing kicked off here. I'm going to hit record here in just a second because obviously, doing the podcast too. So we're going to get this thing kicked off here in just a second in 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Fit Parent Project. How is it going? It is Wednesday. I freaking love Wednesdays because those are winning Wednesdays, and it's a time and a day to celebrate our accomplishments. And today is also actually an accomplishment, especially as a parent, and that is my kid's 4th birthday. He turned 4 today. And so I figured, what better way to kind of like celebrate that and kind of like, in the spirit of that, I'm going to give you guys 4 lessons that my 4-year-old has taught me about life, about my fitness journey, and how how a lot of these things that, they may be reminders, to me or to you, but or they may have been something that you already knew about, but in the day to day, my kid is like definitely reminding me of these things on a very regular basis when it comes to these things. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Yes. Okay. So number one, the first thing for me that I'm almost comically reminded of when it comes to my kid is that I damn it, I am not as like active or as like or as flexible or as like mobile as I probably should be. And I get at least 10,000 steps a day most days. But just like in terms of just like what he does on the day to day, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I remember when I could move like that, or I remember whenever I was, whenever I was able to, run like nonstop with like almost unlimited energy. And so, it's one of those things that I've been getting more back into and been working on myself is just, my mobility, and something that I'm definitely, going to be working more so on this year, especially as it's warming up, is my cardio. So I bodybuild, and bodybuilding, and cardio, people typically don't think go too hand in hand, because to an extent they don't, to an extent, but I definitely want to get my cardio better, just to be able to like be more active with him and to be able to do those things. And so it's something that he reminds me of on a very regular basis, is that being an adult, it's really easy to be sedentary as an adult, unless your job doesn't allow for it. Like, there's not a lot of things in our day to day, unless you've got friends or family that do it too, that really like encourages you to like be like active to get out and go do things. Like, you know, a lot of times, like, our jobs are like, a lot of people's jobs, our office jobs are very sedentary, or we get home and we're exhausted at the end of the day. And unless your kid's super active and you're an active parent, and, you know, if you're not, you know, it's one of those things that can be tough. As you get home from work, you're exhausted. I'm at home, I work from at home, and I'm freaking exhausted by the end of the day. But, you know, man, when my kid comes home, he still wants to run around and do things like that. It's very encouraging to go and do things, or go for a walk, or go for a wagon ride, or something like that. And so as an adult, it's very easy to be sedentary. So that's my first lesson, is just like, man, like, the more active we can be, and the more like flexible we can be, the more mobile we are, the more that we do and move around. I think that's like definitely like a key to like feeling healthy and happy. Because a lot of times, like, you know, if I'm ever like feeling like I'm in a rut, or I feel like I'm like having like, you know, some depression stuff going on, like, you know, it never hurt me to go for a walk, right? I always, you know, or go for my workout, or you know, do something along those lines that's active, go for a hike or something like that. I've always felt better after doing that, or at least not worse, right? And so I think that's one lesson that I've learned for sure from my kid. The second lesson that I've learned, like, for sure, is that holy shit, time flies by so damn fast, it's not even funny. And also that tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? There's a quote that I really like, and probably a lot of you have probably heard it. The days are long, but the years are short. And, you know, we don't. And that is so true. Like, it's like, man, like, I find myself some days where I'm just like, I want to, like, just, you know, full transparency, I guess, probably. And that's a play on words right there. But, you know, some days feel like they last forever. Like, I want to bang my head against the wall sometimes as a parent. And I think that we can all, you know, agree we have those days sometimes. And sometimes it feels like the days are never going to end, right? Because, you know, like, you know, and when there's more sunlight, especially in the summer, like, the day actually just keeps going and going and going. And you're like, man, like, today was a long day, whether it was a good day or a bad day. But then, you know, when you look back, it's almost like the blink of an eye, right? And a whole year has passed by. Like, my kid's already 4 years old, and it feels like he was a tiny little baby, like, that was in the NICU, just like, you know, just yesterday, honestly. And then when you sit and think, and you think back and like, oh my gosh, like, so much shit has happened in such a short period of time, or in a long period of time even, yet it's gone by so quickly that, you know, it truly makes you kind of like take a look at your you know, your own life in a lot of ways, and not to get existential or anything like that, but, like, you know, we really don't have a lot of time, right? We don't have a lot of time in this life. We don't have nearly as much as we think we do. And I think that's something that we should, you know, use to not to be like, oh my gosh, like, what's the point, but to incentivize us to be like, oh my gosh, like, I got to do the shit that I said I'm going to do, because I really don't have that much time to do it all. And every day wasted is, you know, another day that I'm not going to have back to work towards my goals. And so my advice, and the thing I've taken away from that, is just like, do the damn thing already. Do the damn thing already that you said that you were going to do. Like, so many people put off, and parents especially, put off their journeys, right? Put off their health, put off their self-care, put off a menagerie of things in their day-to-day because they're too busy, or they have these things going on, right? It's like, you know, there's always going to be a reason why you can't do something, right? No matter how valid it is, right? There's always going to be something that you can pinpoint and be like, I can't do it because of this, right? Yeah, I mean, like that, and that's fair. But, like, at the end of the day, your goals don't care if it's fair or not. Your goals do not care if, you know, if how valid your reason is for not starting. Like, they don't care. You have to do it. Like, if you want it to happen, like, there's always going to be another reason that's going to be that's going to, like, you know, make you put things off, right? That's going to cause you to, like, think, oh, I'm just not ready yet, or you're never going to be ready. You know, preparation. If you're using preparation as a reason, it's going to turn into procrastination eventually, right? It's going to turn into that. And it's going to be it's going to sneak up on you, and all of a sudden you're going to be a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, and you'll be like, well, shit, I'm in the same exact spot that I was yesterday, or that I was 5 years ago, right? Nobody wants that to happen. So, like, if there's anything I've learned, is just like we do not have a lot of time, right? Life is short. You have to take advantage of the now, right? The only day that is guaranteed is today. Right. And so making sure that you are doing whatever you can, you know, in that moment, within your ability to actually, like, you know, like, start your journey, do it. do the damn thing. Like, do something, even if it scares you, do it. Don't be afraid to, like, go for it, because you may not have the opportunity tomorrow. Like, or you're gonna blink and you're gonna be, 30 years older, and you're gonna have, missed your. And I don't think it's never too late to start, right? It's never too late to start, but you're gonna miss out on a ton of opportunities to get so far ahead in your journey. Like, and again, kind of like, leaning back to that whole like analogy of like the best time to plant a tree is, 20 years ago, the second best time is today, right? Like, today is the best day to do this shit, right? Like, don't put it off. Do not wait. Do not wait. And so, number three though, life is beautiful, right? Life is beautiful, and it can be new and it can be creative if you choose for it to be that way. Because a lot of times, like oftentimes, like after you become an adult, right? After you've like graduated college, if you went to college, or after you graduate high school, and you step into adulthood, and you have your kid, like, that's kind of like a fun and new and exciting thing, but it's also extremely stressful in a lot of ways. And so, but after you've had like, your kid, or you got married, or things like that, a lot of like our day to day is the same, right? We do a lot of the same things for our jobs. We do a lot of the same things for, our families. We do a lot of the same things in our, like, with what we eat in our day to day. We can become very like ingrained into a schedule of things, and I think routine is amazing. I think it's great. Routine is going to be one of the best things that you can do for yourself, in having one to reach your goals. But, having the same exact mundane day to day over and over and over again, I think is like is why people think that life is boring to an extent. Why people feel like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel of life, or I'm like living like Groundhog Day, day in and day out. And like I feel like a big reason why people feel like that is just because like they stop doing new things, right? As adults, we stop doing new things. My kid, every day, everything that he does is just this new experience, this new opportunity. Like, I mean, every time my kid sees a freaking airplane fly through the sky, it's like somebody throw a fucking parade, right? Like every time he sees a plane or anything, he's 4 years, like these things are so new to him still. Right? He's got all these new experiences, these new life experiences, new foods to try, new, shows to see, new, like animals to learn about, new everything, right? And a lot of times, whenever we get to this place in adulthood, we feel like, or parenthood, we feel like we know it all, or we feel like we've done it all. And that could not be further from the truth. And so I think, the lesson to take away from this is, don't be afraid to try something new, right? If you're on a fitness journey, like, it's okay to spice it up and do something, different. Like I do bodybuilding, right? But I've done kickboxing. I've done, I've tried different, like, like powerlifting. I've tried that. I really, enjoy that. I do enjoy, I like to go hiking. I like to do, like other sports and things like that. Like trying different things. Like, fitness doesn't have to just be, having a fitness or a fit lifestyle or a healthy lifestyle sustainably does not have to just be like go to gym, pick heavy thing up, me caveman or cavewoman, and lift things, and me go eat my food or whatever, and do my steps on the stairmaster or whatever the fuck, or like on a treadmill. Like that's not how that's not what it has to be every single day, right? That's not what fitness has to come down to. Right? You can do other things. You can try other things. I if it weren't for me messing my pec up, I would probably still be kickboxing. I really enjoyed it, but I can't really throw a punch now with my right arm, and that's okay. Not that if there's any muggers out there, please don't mug me now that you have that information. But but it's one of those things that it's like it's one of those things where it's like you really we get into these like these cycles of the day to day, and it can become mundane. And so getting out of your comfort zone, right? This is the key here. Getting uncomfortable and not being so set in our ways is super important, right? I try to live life uncomfortably. I try to use that as a compass. Like anytime I feel like, man, if I'm about to send a message to somebody, or I'm about to do something like I'm about to try something new or invest in something or whatever it may be, if it scares me or it makes me uncomfortable or it gives me like an uneasy like gut feeling, I'm just like, I have that feeling, I instantly just tell my like little internal monologue to shut the fuck up, we're doing it anyways. And we do it, and I do it. And has it, has it burned me a little bit here and there where maybe it wasn't the best investment or it wasn't the best thing? Yeah, yeah, I've had that happen. That happens. Like I talked about yesterday, like the more you try to succeed, the more you're going to fail by default, but that's not a bad thing, right? And I cannot tell you how many times I have like been so grateful that I got uncomfortable because it changed my life. It changed the course of my life. It sent me on a different trajectory that I otherwise would not have, had in my life or in my fitness journey. So don't be afraid to get uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to try new things, right? Have a childlike, like mindset around your day to day. Like even the mundane can be beautiful depending on your perspective, right? So take that into your own life and into your journey, into your fitness journey, right? Take that into there. If you are uncomfortable or you are scared about starting your journey or about working with somebody or investing in something, whether not even talking about if it's like a coach or something like that, in anything, in any aspect of life, freaking go for it. Do it. Get uncomfortable. Like I just talked about in the previous, lesson number 2 about, time flies by so damn fast. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. It's really not. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. You have only a finite amount of time to live and to make an impact and to do the shit that you want to do in this life, on this planet. Like you only have such a finite amount of time to do that shit. Like take advantage of it. Do something about it, right? Don't be afraid. Don't be paralyzed by fear, right? That's lame as shit. That's a lame way to live life, honestly. Like it's okay to be safe sometimes, but like get uncomfortable, do something, right? Don't live like the lamest life possible. Like go out there and do something exciting. Like, and I think, as parents, we can feel like our life is pretty dull or lame because we're doing the same shit over and over again, and all these things, but try to find the beauty in the small things in life. And so, yeah. Number four, this is my, technically, I've got a little bonus one after this, but my fourth lesson is just to never stop learning, right? Never stop learning. Life is so much more fulfilling if you're learning something every day. Try to learn something new. Whether that's coming from reading a book that you enjoy, for 5-10 minutes a day, whether that's, watching YouTube videos that teach you about certain things, about your own health, about your own nutrition, about if you're struggling with like PCOS or something like that, reading up on that stuff. If you're struggling with menopause, reading up on that stuff. If you're struggling with weight loss, looking up things about, flexible dieting, looking up how to, like, watching my videos. Like, I hope, you guys, maybe I'm that source of, you learning something new every day. I hope that that's the case. That'd be awesome. That'd make me feel great. But at the end of the day, I always try to have, I set aside in my schedule every day, like at least like 30 minutes to learn something new, whether it's from my mentors, whether it's from YouTube, whether it's from, I recently purchased a book on like hypertrophy training just because I really want to learn all like literally everything I can about it. Like, there's so much knowledge out there to be like, taken for yourself. Like it's free out there, like Google. Like we have such an awesome opportunity in life to like learn literally about anything that we want to learn about because the internet exists. Like how freaking sweet is that? And so learning something new every day, like I just feel like seeing and knowing how rewarding it is for my own kid to learn something new pretty much every day, right? Right now, like he's learning like all the freaking time. Like, he's at school right now, learning, like he comes home and he'll be like, I learned this, or he'll tell me about something like this. And like, maybe in bed and like, that he learned how to, spell his name. Like he learned how to do that, a couple of months ago. And he came back and he was like, look, see, and he like drew it out and yeah, it looked like, I love my son, but it was messy as shit. Like, right? Like it was like you squint at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely an F and an I, and that your ends are kind of funky looking, but that's okay. I can tell what you were trying to go for there. But just just having that and just knowing how like rewarding that is for me, but also for him, and just like how valuable it is to not have a stagnant mind. Right? A stagnant mind. Like a stagnant mind is a sad mind or is like an unsuccessful mind, in my opinion. If you're constantly learning new things, right, you're exposing yourself to new opportunities and to different views on things and different perspectives. You're gonna, in general, be happier. You're going to learn more about your own journey, and you're gonna have a healthier mindset. And so that's gonna help. That's gonna take you further. That's gonna carry you through your journey. To honestly just give you a more enjoyable life, and also just in just like a more successful journey as a whole. So never stop learning. All right, never stop learning. because that's when shit does get pretty dull. If you feel like you know it all, which I'm gonna tell you, you don't know shit. If you learn the biggest thing that I learned in grad school was that the more you know about something, the more you learn about something and you research something, the more you realize how little you truly actually know, which is exciting because it's like, oh my gosh, like there's so much more out there that can be like learned and studied and things like that, which is exciting as shit. Like I love that. But like people who are like, yeah, I know everything about this specific topic, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're probably full of shit, because the people who are actually studying those things are going to tell you, yes, we have these general ideas that we understand about something, but holy shit, there is just like there is just so much out there that's left to be learned, which is exciting. So it is a beautiful thing. So bonus lesson though, and I just want to throw this out there. It's okay to feel things and to have big emotions. Right? This is kind of my bonus one that I'll end with. It is okay to feel things and have big emotions. It is okay to feel things and have big emotions when it comes to your journey. Right? It is okay to be upset. It is okay to have low days. It is okay to not feel motivated some days. It is okay to have massive, freaking depressive episodes. Like, obviously that shit sucks, but it's okay to have those things happen to you as long as you don't give up, right? As long as you work through those things and you're proactive about them and you process them. Right? You don't just like try and like shove it under the rug, or try to like douse it with, like drugs or alcohol or things that, are going to like temporarily fulfill you for the day, in the moment, the short term, right? Prioritizing those long-term things that you value, and prioritizing, the like processing those big emotions is important, because as adults, I feel like sometimes we feel like, or like, especially for the dads out there, and the guys out there, just in terms of like, certain societal pressures and things like that. Like, it's definitely something that I, grew up in, the culture of being from a small, farm town in Indiana, was just like, guys shouldn't cry, guys shouldn't show emotion, be tough, things like that. Thankfully, I had like, parents that, helped me learn how to process and work through my emotions for the most part, and allowed me the space to feel those feelings. But I know there's a lot of people out there who don't. I know there's a lot of dads out there who don't, and just bottle that shit up. I know a lot of moms out there that bottle that shit up too. But in terms of like letting it out and being allowed to feel your feelings and your big emotions and things like that, and taking the time that you need for that shit, even if you're on a fitness journey, right? More so if you're on a fitness journey, it's important to process that shit. Because if you don't, it's going to fuck up your journey later on. It's going to rear its ugly head at times and screw you up and throw you out of your routine and out of your momentum. And so it's okay to have those big emotions. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to have feelings, as a guy, as a dad, as a mom. It's okay to have that shit. Yeah, I'll be the first one to tell you, I cry I don't cry all the time, but I do cry regularly. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to feel, jealous or envious at times during certain like situations. It's okay to have that shit, as long as you don't bottle that shit up and let it turn into a monster that's going to wreck your journey, right? So I hope that this was valuable for you guys. So those are my 4 lessons, right? Just to recap, watching my kid, damn, I'm not as active or as flexible as I used to be, and I want to work on that shit. Time flies by super fast, and life, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Number 3 is just that, life is beautiful and new and creative. Don't let it get dull, right? Don't let it get dull. Do something new. Do something that makes you uncomfortable, that scares you. And number 4, never stop learning, right? Always be learning. Always be, doing something, in your day-to-day that, sparks that like, feeling of creativity in your day-to-day, or that bestows upon you new knowledge that you may not have had. The last one too is just, it's okay to have big emotions. It's okay to feel your shit out. Like, if you're going through some stuff, it's okay, guys. Like, it's okay. But process that shit, work through that shit, and you have a much more successful time in your journey. So other than that, I hope you guys got value from this. This one went a little bit long, but I appreciate you for tuning in. And other than that, I'll talk to you all later. What's up? How's it going? All right, cool. I'm going to hop off here. TikTok. Goodbye. And yeah, hope you guys got value from this. Shout outs to you, Facebook. If you got value from this at all, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your number one takeaway. And I hope that you got value from this. And maybe you got takeaway. Maybe you got value from multiple lessons. Or let me know what your favorite lesson was down below and what you want to work on in the week ahead. And yeah, but other than that, I see a comment here from Marina. What's up? How's it going? So having just lost a parent, it's so true. I imagine you're referencing, like tomorrow's not guaranteed, and life is short, and yeah, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And so, yeah, no, I appreciate you for tuning in. And yeah, if you're watching this at a later time, hashtag replay, so that way I know that you guys saw this. But yeah, feel free to let me know your number one takeaway. And so takeaway that's where I am. Fear has always been my nemesis. Yeah. Being paralyzed by fear sucks. It's not fun, and it results in a lot less enjoyment in life. And so working through that and processing that, and finding ways to like for me, I almost have this rip the Band-Aid off mentality, or if you're scared of jumping off the diving board like I was when I was a kid, having that jumping off the diving board mentality of I'm gonna count to 3 and I'm gonna freaking do it no matter what. I just have to, on the count of 3, I'm gonna rip that Band-Aid off, and just it's oh man, this is stressing me out. I'm scared to try this new thing. I'm scared to get out of my comfort zone. 1, 2, and just freaking go for it. That's what I try to do with things that scare me or bother me, or that I feel like there's just a big commitment that I don't know if I'm gonna measure up, be able to measure up to. But I'm just rip the Band-Aid off, do it anyways. Figure it out as you go along, and not give myself a chance to talk myself out of it. So yeah, cool. Appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.